Dan Dalton here, coming from Sporting Life Bar. Today we're going to do pork belly. It's a three-part process. What we do first is we brine. We're going to brine for about 10 to 12 hours, and then we're going to braise. After we're done braising, we'll take it, we'll portion it, and I'll show you how to actually execute a perfectly cooked pork belly. What we'll do first is we'll start off with an onion. Do a nice rough chop on the onion. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're just kind of going to get some flavor. Some leek, same thing. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just a little bit of leek greens, as well as a few leek whites. Garlic, you just kind of want to pop them a little bit. So you're just going to take them, take your knife, pop it. We'll do 4 or 5 of these. What a brine actually does is it tenderizes the meat as well as enhancing flavor. So we're going to be sort of permeating this pork belly with a little bit of sweetness from the honey, nice aromatics from the rosemary and the thyme, as well as the peppercorns. And the salt kind of just starts to break down that really tough piece of protein. It actually makes it very succulent, juicy, very, very tender at the same time. So what we'll do is we'll have a nice large pot, and we'll start adding our onions, our leeks, our garlic, and a little bit of carrot. We don't want to get any color on this. We want it nice, translucent, no color, because we don't want that color to transcend into the actual brine. At this point, we'll add a little bit of rosemary, a few sprigs. Once this cooks down, gets nice and tender, we'll add water to it. We'll throw our sachet in, add honey for some natural sweetness, salt, and the pink curing salt. We're going to let all that salt and honey get absorbed by the way of heat, and then we'll add just a touch of ice to it to cool it down very quickly. So here's the brine. And we will now add our pork belly to the brine. So we're going to leave this for about 10 to 12 hours, letting it sit in a refrigerated environment, and then we'll come back to it and we'll start the braising process. So this is the pork belly, just came out of the brine. It was in the brine for between 10 to 12 hours. What we're going to do now is we're going to do a process called braising. So we'll take our pork belly into a nice container with another traditional sachet, same type of sachet. So parsley, stems, thyme, bay leaf, peppercorns, garlic, all wrapped up into a cheesecloth. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover this with chicken stock. Once this is completely covered with chicken stock, we'll wrap it with a little bit of saran wrap. Cover it with foil so that the plastic wrap doesn't burn. So it's all wrapped up. We're going to put it in the oven for 12 hours. We'll check on it then. So this is actually after it's been braised for about 12 hours. What we do is we press it. So we'll put some weight on top of it. That way it'll actually compact itself into a nice even block. At that point, we'll portion it, and we want to score it. And that way, this will be our presentation. We'll put this into a pan, and it'll actually almost look like grill marks. And it gives you just a lovely presentation of it. We want to season this, so fresh ground pepper and salt. So we'll go into our pan, presentation side down, because we don't want to mess with it too much. The more that you play with the protein, the easier it is for it to break apart and just get funky on you. So I'll put it in the pan. It's nice and hot. Make sure that you make solid contact with it. And it's best at this point to put it in the oven. By putting it in the oven, we'll actually cook it all the way through by the time that bottom part gets seared. Afterwards, we'll turn it over. You have a beautiful, crispy, golden brown piece of fat on the top, as well as everything sort of melting in your mouth. And that's mainly from the brining process. At Sporting Life Bar, we like to serve it over top of creamy polenta with a nice cider gastrique. What I like to do is I like to use this fantastic orchard that's in North Las Vegas, Gilcrease Orchards. They do a nice, hard, fresh-pressed cider, and I like to get that straight from the farm. It's not homogenized, so you actually know that it's fairly fresh. And we'll take it and throw it in a hot pot, and that'll reduce itself. And this is kind of what we're going for. If you notice, It's nice and syrupy. Nice thick viscosity. Let's see how the pork belly is. We have this beautiful golden brown, and you can actually see the striations of the cuts that we did for the actual presentation. At this point, we'll add a little bit of veal stock. You can find veal stock usually at a Whole Foods market. And what that does is it's going to give us some nice body. We'll add a little bit of our cider reduction. And all we're trying to do at this point is baste. We're just going to finish glazing. This is starting to get into a nice nappe sauce-like consistency. And this is exactly what we're looking for right here. So as this reduces, it thickens itself. And we're just kind of keep on glazing and keep on glazing. So we've already made the polenta itself. You can buy polenta pretty much already done in the grocery store, or you can buy some cornmeal and actually do it that way. So we'll take a little bit, throw it right on the plate. We'll take our pork belly. And we'll just take a little bit of this beautiful sauce, kind of glaze it right over top. And I finish it with a little bit of Maldon salt and chive. And this is how we do pork belly here at the Sporting Life Bar.